So hi, I'm Rosanel Ginha from IT2103. So welcome to my channel. So first, uh, from this chapter, which is the chapter 9, so we have we have to do a vlog that that gives the others a tutor from our subject, which is Cisco. So we have to do a tutorial video or vlog that can help them to enhance their knowledge about the networking. So from the chapter 9, which is the uh, transport layer. So we will tackle about the transport layers. So because it is tutorials, we have to answer all the activities that we have here in chapter 9. So I think we can start. So first, from the chapter 9, we have to answers all the activities from this chapter, which is the first one is this, which is activity TCP and UTP and UDP characteristics. So the instructions. So drag each characteristics to its TCP or UDP delivery method. So in this table and delivery method, we have the TCP and the UDP. So as we as we read from the NetAcad, which is we read all these characteristics from the previous chapter. We have to drag from here the characteristics that have the characteristics of each TCP and UDP. So first, from the TCP, which is the let's drag the first one, which is the flow control that have in the TCP, which is the flow control is a characteristic of a TCP. Then sequence message segment, which is the sequence message segment is a characteristics of the TCP. And then the session establishment, which is the session establishment is a characteristics of the TCP also. And the guaranteed delivery, which is the guaranteed delivery is also a characteristics of a TCP. And the last one is the ordered delivery, which is the ordered delivery is a characteristic of a TCP. And the next one, as we can see, all of these 5 is a characteristics of UDP, I think. So first, the connection, no order delivery, less overhead, fast transmission requirements, and the no acknowledgement of receipt. So the UDP have a characteristics of connection less, no order delivery, less overhead, fast transmission requirements, and no acknowledgement of receipts. So, on the other hand, the TCP have a characteristics of the flow control sequence message segments, session establishments, and guaranteed delivery. And the last one is the order delivery. So let's check. So all the answers are correct. So let's proceed to the second activity, which is the second activity from the chapter 9 was Part 1, TCP connection and termination process. So first, from the instruction, drag each descriptor to its appropriate place in the image to illustrate the three-way handshake of a TCP establishment session. So, as you can see, we have here a computer A and computer desktop A and the desktop B. So, the first who was sent is the CYN. So the PCA sends the CYN from the PCB and receive and when the PCB receives the message that has an CYN message, then we have to drag the CYN from this. So the next process was the CYN will have an ACK, then an ACK, CYN and ACK send his message from the PCA, which is the PCA received the CYN and ACK, then the CYN and ACK send an ACK, the PCA sends an ACK from PCB, which is the PCB receives an ACK from the PCA. So let's check. So as we can see, from this three-way handshake of TCP establishment session, the PCA sends a CYN to the PCB, which is the PCB receive the CYN from the PCA. Then the PCB will send to the PCA a CYN and ACK message. Then the CYN and the ACK will receive the PCA from PCB. So the PCA will send again the ACK from the PCB, which is the PCB will receive the ACK from PCA. So let's answer the figure 2, which is also the same as the figure 1 activity. So first, from the PCA, which is the PCA sends an FIN from the PCB, which is the PCB receives the FIN from the PCA. So the next is the PCB will send an ACK from the PCA. So the PCA will receive an ACK from the PCB. So the PCA will send again an FIN. No. Again, the PCB will send again an FIN. Then the PCA will receive also an FIN because the PCB sends an FIN to him. So next, the PCA sent an ACK from the PCB, which is the PCB will receive also an ACK from that comes from the PC. So the piece that comes from the PCA. So let's check. So it's correct. So as I as I as I explained, the PCA sends an FIN from the PCB, which the PCB receives an FIN. Then the PCB sends an ACK from the PCA. So the PCA receive an ACK from PCB. So the PCA sends an FIN. No. The PCB sends an again the PCB sends again an FIN, then the PCA receives again an FIN from PCB. So the last one is the PCA sends an ACK from the PCB, so the PCB receives an ACK from the PCA. So that's all from this chapter 9 activity, and let's proceed from the next activity from the chapter 9. So from this activity, or the last activity from the chapter 9, which is the activity TCP UDP or both. So from the instruction, just drag the application layer protocol to its transport layer delivery method, which is the TCP UDP or both. So from this application, you just have to drag the application layer protocol from its transport layer delivery method, which is when the application layer protocol was for TCP, just drag here. Then from UDP only, just drag here. Then if we can use the application layer protocol from this both, just drag in here as both. So first, from the TCP, we have an HTTP. Then the second one is the FTP. Then the SMTP also. Then the last one, I think it is a telnet, because all of this application layer protocol, HTTP, FTP, SMTP, and telnet can only be transported from this layer delivery method, which is the TCP. So let's proceed to the next one, which is the UDP. So from the UDP, we have the DHCP, the TFTP, the IPVT, and the last one, the VoIP. And all this application layer protocol, which is the DHCP, TFTP, IPTV, and the VoIP, which all these four can only transfer from this layer delivery method, which is the UDP. So from the both that can transport from the layer delivery method TCP and the UDP is this two, which is the SNMP and the DNS. So let's check. So all of these are correct. So that's it. So thank you for watching. So see you again.